Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo5 Radio, and I'm glad that you're listening in and you're following me as we sit here having this discussion. Well, it's Friday. It's the end of the week, and there's so much going on. And while many of you might be confused as to why the screen is black, I intentionally wrote it this way because of the fact that many of us are very nervous. We're living in the state of fear, and we're wondering, why is it that God is allowing the evil that's taking place in this country right now? And the reason is because of the fact that he's not done. God's not done. He's surely alive. It's a spin on a lot of you who don't recognize there's a movie out there. It's called God is Not Dead. He's Truly Alive. And for those of you who are not aware of it, it's a great movie. There are 3 episodes of it, and I love it. It's a great movie. It's a great series that you can enjoy and you can watch. It's about the whole idea that God is not dead. I can't remember the name of the group that's going to come to me. I should be ashamed that I cannot remember the name of the group who basically has done the story. You know, the movie, the movie, Something Boys. The Something Boys, not the Beastie Boys, definitely not the Beastie Boys, but there's definitely this group of individuals who's done this great song. One of the guys used to be part of Jesus Freak's team, and the Jesus Freak group that came out years ago in the late what was it? No, actually, they're the ones who even wrote this thing. Oh my goodness, the name. This is shame on me that I cannot remember the name of these guys, but either way. God is not dead, or God is not done. He's surely alive. And this is, it's just the whole idea is, you know, the black screen is what it feels like, life. Darkness is overwhelming. Things are happening on this scale, on this season, in this scale that we can't control. We can't control. Why is it that it seems like evil keeps winning? And I don't know, Lord, are we going to make it? Are we going to survive? Are the Dolphins going to win the Super Bowl? I know for a lot of you, like, give up that dream. You know, listen. I wait for the Dolphins to have their perfect season again, and I'm also waiting for the Islanders to have their back-to-back things. But again, I don't need that. I'm just joking. It's the end of the week. I want you to laugh. If you want to, you can go to facebook.com/Mojo5 Radio. I see Carolyn, Heidi, Amy, Ginger, Linda, Josh, and Jill, as well as Sarah and Belinda and Carrie. Thank you so much. They went to facebook.com/Mojo5 Radio to leave a comment, and we'll go from there. You also can go to mojo50.com. Share this out with as many people as you can, because of the fact that this is how we get the love out of this crazy network. Yes, because we have the freedom to say whatever we want to say. And so you don't know what to expect from this network. And I think that's what makes it that much more exciting. Another thing that makes this network exciting is Mojo50 Radio's favorite and official coffee, American Pride Roasters.
That's it. I've hit the snooze button a dozen times, and now I have to finally get going. But I'm not going to do this day right if I don't start it off with a cup of American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo50 Radio. But I'm not going to lie to you. They have a wide variety of blends, but I'm leaning towards the one that's named after me, Watson's White Chocolate Caramel. You know what? It sounds as good as those words that just rolled off of my mouth. Listen, get it today. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Tell them that Watson from Battle4Freedom sent you, and you want Watson's White Chocolate Caramel blend to start your day off. Join American Pride Roasters Coffee and Mojo50 Radio, and most important, Battle4Freedom, as we celebrate the best coffee in the nation. American Pride Roasters.
Yes, American Pride Roasters. Share it out with as many people as you possibly can, because, again, when things are dark, when things are crazy and things don't make sense, hey, get some American Pride Roasters coffee, get some job in your system. And also thank you for those who are also listening on YouTube. Appreciate every live. Listen, this streams on YouTube. This streams on Facebook. This streams actually on Mojo50 TV. If you went to mojo50.com, there is even a video streaming there. So if you did want to be part of the social media, you can go there and you can enjoy the broadcast right there. Or if you just want to listen to your car, you can listen on iHeartRadio or the other different things if you're not using a smart mobile device. But again, this whole idea that God's not done, he's surely alive, it's basically playing on the term God is not dead, he's surely alive. Great song, God is not dead. The movie, Kevin Sorbo was in the first one. You have David R. White, who's in all three of the movies, but just a very interesting cast where it seems like God is not alive. God is not responding to all the evil and the wickedness that's taking place in our country, in our world, in our communities, in our lives. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time talking about the whole idea of, this identity hypochondria, of where we get wrapped up into our identities, our color, our gender, everything like that. Go listen to yesterday's broadcast. And what's really interesting about this was that, again, we're going to find more and more news. Black people, the drill sergeant who pushed black kid and assaulted because he's walking through the neighborhood. So this is basically Trayvon Martin 2.0. This is because everybody's looking for a Trayvon Martin 2.0. Everyone's looking for a Michael Brown 2.0. They're looking for a Breonna Taylor 2.0. They're looking for a George Floyd 2.0. They're looking for a Philando Castile 2.0. They're looking for anything that helps their group. Think about this. I'll share this in a minute with you because of some of the news that I want to kind of talk to you about, is the fact that even though everything I will share with you and I'll talk with you about seems dark, God is surely alive. And again, it's this whole idea of, I'm in Romans chapter 9. It's been a minute since I posted anything this week in reference to what God has done and what God is accomplishing. But this is where I was this morning I love it. This is where I was this morning in the Word, and the timing couldn't be better. So Romans chapter 9, it says for verse 9 through 13, for this is what the promise said, about this time next year I will return, and Sarah shall have a son, and not only so, but also when Rebekah had conceived children by one man, our father Isaac, though they were not yet born and had done things good or bad, in order that God's purpose of election might continue, not because of the work, but because of works, but because of him who calls. She was told, the older will serve the younger, and as it is written, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. And the reason why I say this, thank you for Kathy Mitchell and Lep for joining this, is cultural acceptances and norms mean nothing in the economy of God. And actually, it's supposed to be in the economy of the sovereignty of God. But sometimes we don't even have to put sovereignty in front of that. You just have to say, like in Genesis 1, in the beginning, God. And then when we go to Hebrews 12:2, that says God is the author and perfecter of our faith. History, God is. I really wanted to show an image of a person erasing some things with a pencil on a piece of paper. I wanted to make a live, active visual so that people can recognize God's not done. When everything seems dark, God's not done. And I just say that, God, everything, even now, as we try to write the perfect narrative, God has his red pen scratching out our plots and plans. And just when we think that we have this thing figured out, bam, something completely different happens. The issue of the sovereignty of God is that here it is, we're watching history be written, major issues of what happened with the elections, major issues of what's going down with this virus and vaccines, major issues with corruption with this administration, the administration before, and even the one before that. It's amazing how we have erased all the evil of the Obama administration and have been so fixated on what Trump has done. And it's amazing how rhinos and the basically the elitists have allowed them to erase the wrongdoings of George Bush, erase the wrongdoings of Barack Obama, erase all the wrongdoings of even everything that's even happening now under Joe Biden. They are literally erasing all the different. Think about this: when they kept the media out of the border. When they kept, they tried to even prevent Republican congressmen and senators from recording the horrific conditions on the border. They're there trying to erase this thing, and they're trying to keep this dirty, stained page to make it seem like the previous administration, everything wrong with this world in this country is because of the previous administrator, the previous president. That everything falls on the shoulders of Donald Trump. Even as I share some of these stories, as I share some of the funny things, that the narratives they don't want you to hear, even as social media, as Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all these different platforms are censoring the truth that's out there, even though it may seem overwhelming, folks, God is not done. He's surely alive. He's not sleeping. He's not slumbering. He is patiently waiting for us all to wake up and recognize he's the one who's in control. I'm telling you, it's so funny as I start sharing some of the stories here with you. It's really sad because the people who keep pushing the narratives of racism, of hatred, and all these other different things have been the ones who have been writing the scripts for hatred and racism and all these other different things. I love the memes that's out there that says, the people who are crying racist all the time are usually the ones who are the most racist. And honestly, when you sit there and you look at the ones who are crying sexism and hatred, the most are the ones who are doing it. There was this funny meme, here it is. So there's this funny meme that's out there with Will Ferrell, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's downright hilarious. It says, he's sitting there, I think this is from Bobby Talladega Nights. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I think there's a couple scenes where he's sitting there, he's yelling, and and he says, "I can't believe it's riot season already. I still have my COVID-19 decorations up." I mean, seriously, we literally went from in January 2019, the hottest economy. No. Better than the economy we have now. Make no mistake. Understand this. The Dow may be up 6,000 points or 6 to 7,000 points up from what it was last year. You see, and that's how you know. That's how you know. Well, actually, it's up 7,000 points from last year. So this is how you know that the Dow Jones means absolutely nothing, because the unemployment numbers are nowhere near where they were pre-COVID. The success and the strength of the economy is nowhere near where the stuff was in this last year in what is it? What do we have? Come here, because we had almost a complete wipeout of the successes of the economy. And somehow, some way, we are now at least 2,000. No, we're 5,000 points ahead right now in April of 2021 compared to what January 2020 was, when everyone was working. The true lowest unemployment in the Black community, in the Hispanic community, women, everyone, every demographic that you can imagine was doing so much successfully better than they are now. Businesses weren't shut down. Businesses weren't closed. Millions of people have lost their jobs. Okay, millions of people have, and many have died, committed suicide. They can't deal with the shutdowns and everything like this. And you're going to tell me that now that the economy and unemployment's better than it was when Donald Trump was president in January of 2019, before COVID-19 became a huge story? See, this is the thing about it is, for those of you who keep calling yourself intelligent, how in the world do you make sense of this if the numbers aren't being manufactured? Joe Biden hasn't done anything to make the economy better, but for some strange reason, the economy is climbing at a normal rate. Is it possible that he was inheriting the success from the plans that were put in place by Donald Trump, saying like, hey, the tax cuts, the idea of businesses that were still turning huge profits, despite the fact that we were in the middle of a pandemic? Not because of socialist policies, not because of socialist tendencies, but because of the fact that when you use common sense rules, when you decide to limit the size of the government, you start to give the businesses the freedom to actually spend more money by not taxing them out to wazoo. They can invest in more people, they can invest in the company, they can invest in the country, and they can turn around and make America amazing. But here we are. It's just very interesting because now we went from successful economy to COVID to lockdown to Floyd to riots, burning, riots, burning, riots, vaccine, election. It's amazing how the riots stopped around the election. But see, because here's the funny part about it, is the idea that there is a segment of America who's fixated on the nonsense that took place on January 6th, and you're not fixated on the nonsense that had always been happening by the other side. And hey, listen, and let's even go a little bit further, that possibly the very same rioters and rioting that were burning our cities and states last year, and they're now burning our cities and states this year, breaking windows and everything like that, could have been the same people at the Capitol doing the rioting and the burning. Hello. God is not done. He's surely alive, because this is what's going to happen here. Every last one of you who sat there and wanted to believe wholeheartedly that it was Donald Trump who was sitting there burning and destroying our cities. Hello. I'm really good. God's like, I'm really going to show you who's doing it. And it's the people that you've been ignoring for so long. The people that the media have been ignoring so long. Folks, it is so bad. Yes, Carolyn. Oh, get ready for another stock market crash. It's not just the market. Everything is going to collapse. Everything is going to collapse. I mean, how many big major industries declared bankruptcy? They're gone. Mom and pop stores that are gone. They couldn't survive. They could not survive the pandemic. They could not survive. And it wasn't really the pandemic. They couldn't survive the plandemic. The plandemic to ruin a successful economy, to ruin, you know what? He has his issues, but ruin a previous president. But again, the issue is God is not done. It's not about resurrecting Donald Trump. It's about resurrecting his name in this nation that we say that God should bless. And when we get to that position that we're ready to start praising his name and resurrecting his name and resurrecting his glory, I think you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Did you get that? The light, he is the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's time for us to get out of our horrible tunnel vision that has prevented us from actually focusing on God and get back to, we have to get rid of those things that have been distracting us. We're back to COVID. We're back to riot season, and my COVID decorations are still up. Oh my goodness, this is so perfect because of the fact that we're watching this narrative. Just when you thought you guys could get away, just when you thought you could get away with hidden laptops, just when you thought you could get away with all these other different things, God is not dead. You have James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, who's keep pushing stuff out there so you guys can see and understand what's going on. You have physical evidence of James O'Keefe busting Planned Parenthood, busting news organizations, busting all these different places. But no, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. It's literally like the way that you guys have been looking for the news is it's almost like you have set up Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles to find the truth. You basically set them out in the middle of a desert to try and find a mountain. And they can't find it because they are blind. Not making fun of the blind. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, look at it. Why is it mocking? He's like Trump mocking the disabled. No, I'm not mocking this because it's literally the blind leading the blind. If you think that you're trying to find the truth here, you are literally blind if you can't see how things were planned, the schemes and the machinations, and even right now, God's rewriting the story. You think you're winning right now. Many of us think that we're winning right now, and God's basically saying, I'm not done writing the story yet. We have to, yes, Curtis. Yes, space balls combing the desert. That's exactly what it is, because it's almost the way things are happening right now in this country, according to the news, according to the media, according to the way things are happening. You would literally think that Mel Brooks was writing the story. I mean, some of the stuff is just so blatant. It's so obviously deceitful. It's pure sarcasm, but people are buying this as the truth. And we're wrapping our brains around it. We're like, how in the world is this possible? How in the world is this even possible that people would still believe this? Well, they do. And let us stop racking our brains to try and get them to understand, because it just won't work. Something that might actually help them start working better on getting their brains on, and this is New Life Holistic. Check this out.
Does your mind seem like it often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's method and approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have experienced ever before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle4Freedom has sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic.
New Life Holistic, share it out with as many people as you possibly can. Now understand this. This is really funny because the couple of comments I want to get here quickly. Buddy Scott says Russia is colluding with China, North Korea, and Iran. And that's the funny part about it. That actually is happening, but they don't report it. That's actually happening, but they won't report it. Oh, I love this. Where was it? Oh, Carrie says zombies are alive. LOL. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And Kathy says Idiocracy becomes a documentary. It really it's blowing. It's just completely blowing the mind, because as I start getting into the topics in the second half, I'm just gonna like breeze through some of these things, and we're gonna just laugh at some of these things. But remember, in the midst of no matter how dark, no matter how bad it really gets, God is not done. He's surely alive. I'm going to keep saying that because I want you to, if you haven't seen movies 1, 2, and 3 about God's not dead, you need to. There are 3 of them. They're great. And hopefully it's a means of encouragement for you when you don't have time to pick up your word, read the Bible, and understand God's always been in control. This is going to get to the point where everybody keeps saying he's an on-time God. Oh, yes, he is. You don't even hear that in the church anymore. You don't hurt the ear. Do you realize we don't even say that in church anymore because we stopped believing that God's in control? And it's reflective on the way that our nation is. Folks, the black screen that you see is because of the fact that we're believing that it's completely dark and hopeless. But I'm telling you, God is not done. He's surely alive. Let's go to a break, and I'll talk to you on the flip side.
And now, homeschooling with Watson.
Okay, now trying to quiet down.
Daddy's in the backyard. He left his phone now.
Time for class.
Aww.
Simmer down.
Okay, Daddy.
Okay, so let's get into the lesson.
Daddy,
Yes, sweetie.
why aren't you playing those funny songs on your break anymore? Awkward.
Because those commie Nazis of big tech have nothing better to do than harass people like me?
Whoa. Triggered.
Yes, Olive. What do you want to ask me?
What's a commie Nazi? Triggered.
It's when the totalitarians of the Progressive Democrat Party are aggressively destroying our country.
Did you have too much American Pride Roasters coffee, Daddy? Daddy?
Yes, sweetie.
What's a totalitarian? What's a totalitarian?
It's power-hungry people making really bad rules that they will not follow themselves.
Isn't that what you tell us happens with big government?
Yes! Exactly! You make me want to cry.
Aww. We love you, Daddy. We love you, Daddy.
I love you too. Now, where were we?
Government back. God give. Amen. Hallelujah.
I love being a dad. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Preeney from Battle for Freedom on Mojo5 Radio. It is Friday, and yes, I love the halftime show as well, too. I got to come up with a new one so we can sit there, we can laugh, because I'm not going to lie to you. Hopefully that even in the midst of the darkness, even in the midst of everything going on, I'm hoping that sometimes I can say some things that'll bring you encouragement and just really encourage you. Like the whole idea of maybe you're not sleeping well. Have you ever considered My Pillow? Okay. By Monday, I assure you I'll have this correctly for you, where you need to go to My Pillow. There's some who are listening right now who have gone and they've got the pillows, they've got the blankets and sheets, and they really enjoy it. They support Mike Lindell. Here's another story where, you know, if you go and you listen to it, I believe it's a Situation Room. I don't believe it's this Friday, but it might have been the Friday before. Comes on at 10 a.m. Rocky Stucci interviewed Mike Lindell, and you hear a lot about his story and how I don't even want to tell you about it. You just need to go listen to the Situation Room. It comes on at 10 a.m. Go back and listen to his interview with Mike Lindell and learn a lot about how God can, again, rewrite a story of anyone's life. It doesn't matter how bad life gets. God is not done. He's surely alive. And he is moving. He is actively doing things. And you know what? He's done an amazing thing in the life of Mike Lindell. And with My Pillow, trust me, you'll enjoy the options and the availability. Invest your money in businesses that are about investing in you, not about the ones that are consistently taking from you and telling you that your life, your opinion doesn't matter. Listen, I know it seems overwhelming. It seems crazy. It seems completely dark. It seems like darkness is over. It's over. It's just basically killing us. I'm letting you know, hang in there. God is not done. So one of the stories I wanted to sit here and I want to laugh with you about was So, how many of you have heard about the idea that, have you seen this last week that, or even this week, Facebook is censoring DailyMail.com story on Black Lives Matter co-founders' multi-million dollar LA property empire. Users that wanted to share links to the Daily Mail were met with a message saying that it could not be shared. The same article in Black Enterprise was also allowed to be shared by Facebook users. Black Enterprise and Daily Mail both cited the New York Post in their stories. Twitter recently suspended sports writer Jason Whitlock for sharing the story. I forgot to talk about that one yesterday. That was really hilarious. The story noted that Patrice Cullors, 37, has spent $1.4 million on a Los Angeles property. So this is the story about a black woman who's part of because of identity terms, I have to be very careful how I describe her, because we've rewritten what color and what gender and what we've rewritten what God has said is what he has said. So this individual from Black Lives Matter, who is Caucasianly challenged, buys a $1.4 million mansion in a rich, predominantly white neighborhood. But as people are trying, Twitter suspends the account of someone just sharing the truth from the New York Post. I mean, has it gotten that bad that as we try and expose the people for the liars that they are, we've got to shut things down? So when we started to share stuff about hydroxychloroquine, can't do that. And when we try and share stuff about the virus, can't do that. A different perspective. When we try and start sharing information about election fraud, you can't do that. The moment that you start sharing stories about the hypocrites of the people who are supposedly fighting to make everyone equal, and they themselves are not equal themselves. I'm telling you, this story about this. Okay, understand it and hear this. When I say that God is exposing our hypocrisy and that God is exposing our lies, this story is a whole lot bigger than you really see and understand. Now, sit back. Don't even put your thinking caps on, because you're about to have a mind explosion. This story is you want to know why they're shutting this thing down? And they don't want the story out there, is because it's telling you what the socialists will do when they're in power. It tells you what the socialists are doing and have always done when they're in power. Black Lives Matter is supposed to be supposed to be a ministry, supposed to be a function, supposed to be an organization about bringing equality, pointing out the heresies committed against black people and making them equal. And here it is. You have a black person who's been taking money to make everyone equal, and they're not treating everybody equal. They've made all their money on talking about the evils of white society, and they've hidden themselves, have sheltered themselves within the culture that offends them, or really doesn't offend them. Or really has the whole purpose of this thing been about taking your money because you've been emotionally driven to always find the boogeyman, the racist boogeyman, and you're going to give all your money to all these organizations that are going to fight for your cause. You got to fight for your right. Finish the song? No, I'm not finishing the song, because I'm taking your money and I'm running. This is how they do it. This is what happens with socialism. See, listen, you don't need to listen to jukeboxes with Mike Phillip at American Duck Radio at 2:00. You can listen to me on this Friday as I just start giving you a whole bunch of different songs. But no. Check out Mike Phillip. He comes on at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Especially on Friday, he does Jukebox Friday. But I say this because, do you recognize how huge this is? Here is someone, Mo Money. Oh my goodness, Kathy. Mo Money. Yes. I love it. because of the fact that in the society, hear this and hear me clearly on this. As we have been pushing for on and on and on for this society of equality, and we keep thinking that socialism and social justice, right now, this is the hugest smack in the face, because it's not just her buying the $1.4 million. It's the fact that you have had organizations, you have had smaller Black Lives Matter charters around the country for the last year complaining that they aren't getting any money while the leaders up top are living high on the hog. And God's like, oh, I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep showing every last one of you for the hypocrites that you are. I mean, think about this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wasn't making money. She was making money as a bartender, but not making the money she was balling it with as a congresswoman. And now she's flying around in all the Gucci outfits. She's flying around in all this ridiculous money. Her and the squad are pushing out money and stuff and styles and living. That's not consistent with the people she's trying to help. She became part of the very swamp that Donald Trump was talking about. Ooh, we can't talk about that. Scratch, white out. Take care, Linda. Have a great weekend. This is so funny because they can't hide it anymore. I mean, seriously, folks. When Hunter Biden's laptop came out, I was like, this is it. It's done. It's over. Donald Trump has this election in it. Listen, we could have lost 1 million people with COVID. The Hunter Biden laptop story, even the story of and the information and the knowledge that the Barack Obama administration had turned around and had sent out goons to spy and investigate an American citizen and a presidential candidate. I mean, this is bigger than Watergate. It's what the Barack Obama administration had done towards Donald Trump, to Mike Flynn, and everything like that is bigger than any scandal that you can ever imagine in the history of our nation. These are the very crimes of corruption that we spoke out against, and he did it. We have his fingerprint on this. He authorized the FBI to do this. Don't say, oh, it's rogue people doing whatever they want. Come on. Because that same FBI organization that shut down the reality on what Hillary Clinton was doing with her. We didn't find that Hillary Clinton did anything wrong with the email servers and breaking and destroying 13 crackberries. Well, nothing there to see. But oh my goodness, we've got Russian collusion. We have all this different information that Donald Trump was doing this stuff with Russia. The same people who said this was going on are completely silent to that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. Yeah, that's for those of you. Some of you may not be accustomed to certain rap songs, but I'm just letting you know you've missed out on a lot. And maybe I'm going to rewrite history and get you to start looking for some of these songs and really appreciate them. But it's just the whole idea. This is huge. What happens with the Black Lives Matter person is this is the clear picture that when you think that everything is about being equal, it never was. When you sit here and you talk about the whole idea that we just want people recognized, we want an equal voice, it never was. Because if it truly was about giving everybody the right to speak, giving everybody the right to express themselves. Hello, Raquel Lee. Thank you for joining. You can catch her tomorrow on Room 13 with Eric Wilson. He came on yesterday. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge him. You sit there. You sit here, you're watching this thing. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, what's next? See, a lot of us have been waiting for QAnon to drop stuff out there. God's saying, you stop, don't wait for QAnon. You hang in there, you watch what I'm about to do. How you like me now? We're about to have, and everything that's about to be exposed has nothing to do with QAnon, has nothing to do with Q, and everything with God. See, those of us who've been they're not, some things are conspiracy theories, but some things are better left just alone and let God write the tablet of history. For those who keep thinking that they can hide in the dark, God is exposing it and bringing it to the light. I love this, because those of you who have been so angry with the Trump administration and conservatives, and you say hate speech, and we're coming up with this language of hate speech and hatred and everything like that. To be silent to the way that social media has been censoring conservatives, censoring people who just want to post on COVID, who want to post on vaccines, who want to post on election fraud, who want to post on a Black Lives Matter individual being busted. Here, coming out of the woodworks. Chelsea Clinton calls Facebook to ban Tucker Carlson because of the fact that he was like, why are people who are vaccinated still required to wear masks? Why are we still restricting the people who need to wear masks? Why are we still restricting them? And instead of having that discussion, instead of asking that question, because it's a common sense question, Chelsea Clinton's like, shut him down. We don't want to hear that. We can't have that kind of discussion. Oh my goodness. Linda, 17, is that the reference to Donald Trump being the 17th president? Because that's not true. That's not, God is not writing this story for Donald Trump to be the 17th president. Please don't go with that conspiracy theory. Again, if he was, you can't make him 45, then 17, and then rewrite history. If that's what you're saying, that it's impossible. And now God can rewrite a lot of different stories. The question is, the 17th letter of the alphabet? Q. Thank you. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that I've seen some stories that have been written out there saying that Donald Trump's going to come back and he's going to take control. No, Q is, please hear me and understand this. If QAnon were truly as effective as they were, that God would want them to get things done, everything that they predicted would have come true so far. Period. I mean, we had this amazing story. We were so waiting for Q to expose all this information, and it never manifested stuff. When Q made predictions of stuff coming out, and it never came out, listen, God's not behind that. Understand this. Go to the Old Testament and you look and you see, it says when God makes a prediction, when God makes a prophecy, when someone makes a prophecy of something going to take pass, and it's done in the name of God, and if it doesn't come to pass, it never was of God. I mean, they keep moving the goalposts. With Linwood keeps moving the goalposts. What's her name? Who was part of Trump's administration, defense? What everything she came to pass. Well, if anyone who's going to believe my story about what I said about voter fraud, so she changed the tune. She changed the script. How do you change a script if you were completely sold out on believing that this was going to come to pass? No, there's no great reset in 2020. The QAnons, there is no 2026 reset. This is what I'm saying. Carrie, QAnon has been this secret organization that has swept its way into the conservative movement, has swept its way into the anti-progressive movement as a bastion of truth, as a bastion of secrecy. It's like the secret society of people who are going to expose all these different things that are evil and wicked in this nation, the very things that we were waiting to come to pass so that the Barack Obamas, the Clintons, and every other organization that's out there that has been manipulating the people, they're going to be exposed. exposed and the truth is going to come out, that there's going to be this Q drop, this Q information that everybody's going to download onto their computers and basically not realize that they're affecting their systems and turning their systems into just a global new repository for where people can store their information and basically data mine and hack people's computers. As we sit in there, we're downloading this information. Do you recognize that we can't keep up with the antivirus softwares? We can't keep up with the tools that are basically shutting down the information that's screwing up our computers, screwing up our data. So what they do is instead of sending the phishing emails and everything like that, getting you to click links that basically compromises your computer, your devices and everything like that, they're basically now telling you, here's some information I want you to read, I want you to find out, not realizing that you have nothing to actually scan. Most of us are not running antivirus tools on our computers locally to make certain that whatever it is we're downloading off the internet is not compromising the integrity of our data. And then we turn around and we believe, oh, here's a new scoop, here's the new data, here's the new information that's about to blow this lid off, and the Republicans, the conservatives, and Donald Trump are going to take over again. See, the same spirit thought that Donald Trump would be president. Still, never leave the White House, continue to lead our economy into glory. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I sat there like, what's going on? What was clearly a Republican win for 2 seats, for 2 Georgia Senate seats, completely went because people in the background are rewriting the stuff. The people in the background have already pre-programmed the stuff to give them the results that they're looking for. So QAnon, no, Trump did not open our eyes to the evil in the world. Please stop saying that. Stop saying that. God opened our eyes to the evil in the world. Trump is not this glorious person. Please, I'm begging you, stop saying that. He is not this prophet. He is not this anointed one who's exposing the evils of society. Please stop that. It's a delusion to believe that he is. No, he is not this agent that's exposing the truth. God is exposing the truth, and it's not Trump. Because if Trump, listen, folks, hear me and hear me now. If we keep thinking that this is about some big, huge knight in shining armor that Trump is going to save America, we have lost. See you later, Belinda. I know you don't want to hear the truth. I know you don't want to hear the truth. I know you want to live in this delusion that you lift up Donald Trump as your God. And guess what? If you don't humble yourself, and I'm calling you out directly, because this is the second time you've come to my show and you wanted to give me drama because of the fact that I'm not sucking on the teat of Donald Trump. I don't have time for that. I'm not here to worship him. Battle for Freedom is about freeing ourselves from the illusions that are out there telling us that we are going to win this story. We are going to win this game. And if you want to keep doing that, bye. See you later. See you later. Or what's the word? Bye, Felicia. Bye. Don't come back. Because I'm not here on the teat of Donald Trump. I'm not giving him fellatials. Yes, graphic is all get out, and that's exactly what God is showing us that we're doing right now. When you sit here and you worship this man like he is the one who's going to be the savior of this country. Yeah, I'm getting graphic. I'm getting graphic because of the fact that you are sitting here and gotta. He is not the one who's saving this country. This is exactly what happened. Listen, hear me. This is exactly what happened in the first century when everyone was sitting there looking for Jesus to be the one who was going to take down the Roman Empire because of the fact that they wanted to save the land of Israel. They wanted to save the land of Israel. They wanted to defeat the Romans. They wanted to defeat everything. And I'm like, okay, if you're not pointing fingers, hear me and hear me clearly. Please, whoever's telling you these lies about Trump exposing stuff, please, 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 please. Linda, check the sources out. That's all I'm asking you. check the sources out. If the source is not the word of God, if the source is, because right now, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump got a lot accomplished, okay? He got a lot accomplished as the president of the United States of America. Have things been brought to light about the hypocrisy? The hypocrisies have always been there. The hypocrisies only build all the more as they sat there attacking him, because that's the thing that really bothers me so much more. I didn't start liking Donald Trump because of the fact of specifically who he is, but because of the fact that the media was even telling me more that we should actually consider following who he is. On the habitual attacks against him, his nature, his family, and everything like that. But they remain silent against the Clintons, against the Obamas, against the current administration. That you sit there and you recognize if they're putting all this energy to destroy Donald Trump, they put all that energy to destroy George Bush. They put all that energy in to destroy Ronald Reagan. They put all that energy to destroy conservative Republican presidents and figures and everything like that. There must be, when the media goes out of their way to destroy a person, oh my goodness, it's probably time that we start looking at who this is. Think about this. Harvey Weinstein is the poster child for the Me Too movement. But we don't hear anything about Harvey Weinstein anymore. I mean, was it Matt Lauer was another poster child for the Me Too movement, but we don't hear anything. But you know what they'll do? Oh, Harvey Weinstein, look at him, he's lost weight. Oh, here's Matt Lauer disgraced the thing, but we'll still talking about him. But it's like these little itty bitty articles about the very people who committed the very offenses that they've held Donald Trump to. So the very thing, I mean, Bush lied, people died. Biden is trying to take us to war. He sat there, he bombed Syria, and now he wants to flex his muscles. He wants to flex his paper muscles with Kim Jong-un and with Putin and with the Ayatollahs. He wants to flex his muscles. He is literally moving our ships into war and contention with the enemy. The very thing that you guys said that Donald Trump was going to do is just bring us back into war. Biden is doing the very thing right now. And the media and all of you are so silent. We don't hear anything about Epstein Island anymore. You want to know how we would still know about Epstein Island? If all the people that they expose, and the only people who went to Epstein Island were conservatives. Want the truth? The only way we'd still have Epstein Island in the news is if Donald Trump was on the manifest flying to that island. Epstein's gone. The data's gone. We don't care about that because right now, COVID is the biggest mask cover-up, pun intended, to sit there and keep us from looking at the stories that are true. And God's like, oh, you thought you covered that up? Oh, you thought you hid that? Oh, you thought that I wasn't, Hey, here's an interesting story. White House intel says that the Russian bounties on the troops were shaky and not verified. You remember this time last year as the mainstream media, as news agencies, as social media, let it run wild that Donald Trump wasn't doing anything, and as Russian troops were putting bounties on our U.S. troops, Donald Trump isn't doing anything to protect our soldiers. And now we find out a year later that the information wasn't true. The very information that Joe Biden, current President Joe Biden, ran with strong, and we find out the information isn't true. Oh, you remember when Joe Biden basically says that he didn't want to, he wouldn't answer on whether or not he wouldn't pack the courts, even though he said he would do it. He wouldn't talk about this in the debate with Donald Trump, and then he starts saying this past week, I'm going to pack the courts. And now the Democrats, Pelosi Sr. says they won't pass the bill to pack the courts. Because you can't hide the truth. And that's what God's saying. It's not that you can't handle the truth. God's saying you can't hide the truth. And a lot of you know what you're going to be?
Triggered.
You know what you're going to be?
Triggered.
You're going to be?
Triggered.
As God exposes it all. God's not done. Oh my goodness. Oh, and what we sat here, think about this. Black Lives Matter activist Bree Newsom defends rioting and looting. Now, she's only regurgitating what the progressives in control already said. And everyone who went out of their way to paint one segment of society as evil and the threats to America, God's basically saying, I've got my brush out, and he's about to go Bob Ross on a lot of this stuff. He's about to go Bob Ross, and you will not like the final picture. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Thank you, every last one of you. Belinda's, thank you for sticking around. You have a great day, and sorry if I misinterpreted what you were saying. I love every last one of you. Brad Stacks and Daily Mojo's up next, and I'm gone. Bye.